Hopefulness 2.0, May 18th. So I got some onions, got some potatoes. I also have what I'm about to make. Got some corn. Microwavable. So, taking a page out of Alvin Joux. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And I'm going to make a roux, throw in some cream, and I'm going to make some creamed corn. I've never made creamed corn before. I've only had it like maybe once or twice, and I didn't like it. It was when I was a kid because we had it. It was canned creamed corn, which is gross. Like most canned vegetables are just nasty. So that's half a tablespoon, so I need 4 of these. Prepping a roux, so equal parts butter and flour. It's funny, I didn't really do anything yesterday. And I mean, I haven't been recording anything, of course, because I just haven't felt like it. I had my first shift on Sunday night. At about 30 minutes into the shift, I realized that I was missing my keys. And they disappeared. I don't know where the hell they went. Which really sucks. Because, you know, I had house keys and work keys. And one of those keys goes to the medicine cabinet. So, yeah, that was fun. Felt like shit the whole 8 hours. Stressing out the whole time, trying to make sure that I could get stuff done. Got what I could done until somebody showed up, gave me all the printed stuff. I was like, oh hey, the office is open. I can like scan and shred stuff now and do some other. Because I had like, it's funny how you can do majority of the work, a good majority of the work, without needing the office. It's just that there's some other stuff that needs to be done. Like the first day that I did an overnight, we scanned like 20. It's probably closer to like 10 or 15, but it felt like 20 pages. And each one of them needs to be scanned a specific way because they're each an individual document. So it's like, this is a blood pressure thing, this is a head count thing, this is, you know, a release form, this is a something else thing. And so like each one of them has to be their own individual file basically, because when you scan them, it'll send it to your email or to whomever you're sending it to. And in doing so, I'm going to turn on the AC real quick. It's starting to get warm. So you send it to yourself essentially, and each time it scans, it's an individual email. And in doing that, it you know, it makes it easier when you download each one of them because they're all individual PDFs. So, oh man. Ooh, now, and so we had a, you know, and it was a good lesson because there were so many to scan and to understand the process and everything. So that made it easier the next time it came. I only had like 3 scanned documents. On my first night, on my solo night. And I had to figure out, because like I had to do what was it? I had to do a hand count of the controlled substances that we have, and document that in the system. And I had only gotten kind of like a quick rundown because we hadn't had any controlled substances to work with, and so I was just trying to figure out how to fucking do it. And it took me probably like 2 hours until I finally realized what I literally needed to do. And it's simple. It's just that because all it was just a visual and it wasn't even a real thing. And since it wasn't something we really covered during my overnight training, but now it's not a problem. It's a lot easier now that I know what I need to do. And that was the one thing that I was like suspicious of, because I wasn't really sure of what I needed to do, literally what actions I needed to take. So but yeah, not having the keys, fortunately the medicine cabinet was unlocked, or it was open rather, but the lock was locked, so I couldn't unlock it and then lock it up. And I couldn't lock the office, so I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So I'd send my boss a text and everything. He's like, well, just do what you can, make sure you don't lock yourself out. It was cool at least. And I'll admit, of all during all my training, I was like, as long as I don't fuck something up, and they're like, yeah, most of it is fine, blah blah blah. It's like, if it's a mistake, it can be fixed, it's blah, 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 blah. But I managed to do the thing that you really shouldn't do. And that is lose your fucking keys. But I gotta work again on Thursday night, which is tomorrow night. I'm still having a hard time getting to bed on time, i.e. late. I'm sure after I do it a couple of days, a couple more days, and especially because I've got Thursday and then I've got Saturday night, I'll at least be able to have that quick turnover. Because right now it's like it was Sunday and then Thursday, and then there were like a couple of guys that came in, and I'm freaking out and stressed and shit, and they're like, oh, enjoy your couple of days off. And I was like, I'd rather just be working. Need to pay the rent. Yeah, it's kind of sad how this is the best paying job I've ever had, and it ain't saying much. It's only $16 an hour. So when I got a job at Walmart back in 2000, right at the end of 2000, began in 2001, I was making $10 an hour. That was when minimum wage was $5.15. That was good money. That was seriously good money. And I was working pretty frequently too. I think it was part-time still, but I was still making good money. Then I quit that job because of the bullshit that happened with, working with assholes and then working with more assholes, and then just fuck it. And then the next job I had was when I had moved to East Texas, working at Hastings, making $5.15 an hour. And then I got a pay raise, but then it wasn't enough of a pay raise, and apparently it was supposed to be a 5% raise, and instead it was a 5-cent raise. And so they paid me back pay when the time came. So at the very least that was good, but I still wasn't making enough money. And so I got a job working at a call center. That was like $7.25 an hour. I want to say something like that. which was better money, even though at the time minimum wage for the U.S. wasn't $7.25, because they didn't change to $7.25 until like 2009, and it's 2022 and it's still $7.25. Like, the fuck. Anybody who says, "Oh well, if you raise minimum wage, prices are gonna go up," like, well, prices have gone up anyway. So what's your fucking point? You know, we're at staggering inflation right now. Things like gas and formula and shit are outrageously either expensive or just disappearing off the fucking shelves, and still companies are making record-breaking fucking profits. So, you know, if you think you're blaming some politician, don't blame the fucking corporations, because they're the ones that are fucking it all up. They are always the ones who've been fucking it up. And when you have politicians who help them, then you can blame those fucking politicians. You know, I've heard people say that Trump was like the best thing that ever happened in the United States. Like, really? We're currently dealing with so much bullshit from his administration. And people are blaming it on Biden for whatever reason, even though he's the one that inherited all the bullshit that came from it, including all the fucking tax breaks. And it's like, what the hell? You guys are fucking morons. Straight up. Like, you don't understand cause and effect. Really, you don't. You have so little critical thinking. We have so many problems right now because one president, that's not even in office anymore, but they're still influencing shit. And it's causing problems for everybody. And so many other fucking things are going on right now. It's ridiculous. But going back to it, and it's like, so I had that $7.25 job. And then the next job I had was working as a security guard. I was making $10 an hour, which again, still technically better. And then it ended up being $12 an hour after a couple of years because I finally got raises. And the next job that I had was security again, working at Alaska at $12 an hour. Made a lot of money doing that just because, you know, I was working 7 hours or 12 hours a day, 7 days a week the entire time. And then what? I think my first real LA job was when I was working seasonally at Bevmo. I think that was like $11.50. And then I got the job at the shoe store for $15 an hour, but I was only working 2 hours a day, 2 days a week rather. But it was enough to pay for rent. And then, you know, went to jail, and then I got the job at the pizza press, and that was like $11 an hour, I think. But we at least got tips, so that helped. Shouldn't need to tip people though. Pay people better. We don't need tips. We don't need a tipping culture anymore. Fuck all that shit. And then I also was working at the nonprofit radio or Media Corp, and was making 12 there. And they gave us, you know, like if there was a, like even if we only worked like 1 day a month, and that was usually how it worked for the most part. Even so, like, it didn't matter how much we worked or how little we worked, we still got holiday pays. Like, we didn't have to work those days, and we still got paid a full day's worth. So I got paid for fucking Labor Day, Memorial Day, Christmas, all of it. I could pay for all of it. Thanksgiving, you know, so that really helped bolster my income throughout all of it. even though I still got laid off or got terminated the following May after getting the pizza press. But the money coming in from both the Media Corp and then also from unemployment, that was helping to be able to pay for my, sober living payment still. And then, I started working at iHeart, making $14.25 an hour. And then through iHeart, I got those 2 gigs that helped, put a pretty big chunk into my bank account. It was like $500 for the first 5 days, and then it was like $12.50 for the other 5 days. It's ridiculous. So for working 10 days, I got paid $17.50. Like, that's absurd money for me. I would love to be able to continue making that kind of money. That was awesome. I didn't even have to do that much, really. But it was literally only two gigs, and they were like several months apart. I didn't get any more after that, and then everything, COVID and all that crap. And this is my first job since COVID. Making the most I've made per hour, and then I'm getting 8 hours a day for each of my shifts. But I gotta pay $1,500 a month for this fucking space. And while I like the space, I would like the stability of knowing that I'm not gonna just... Because it's always been the fucking same, it feels like. Like I said, I kind of like the job. It's easy on the overnights. It's not difficult at all so far. We have a good house, so there's nobody that's being shitty or anything like that. But yeah, it would be nice if this stabilizes quicker. We'll see, of course. But in the meantime, just take it one day at a time. Got some more rice. I should have got the thing of granola from Smart and Final when I ordered, but whatever. I ordered like 2 big trays of chicken thighs, but I only got 1. They refunded the whole thing, which I'm like, whatever, I guess. Cool. Save $20. As long as it doesn't negatively affect the driver, delivery person. Because that sucks if it does. It's stupid. It's like, it could have just been a simple mistake on their part, and I don't know how it works. I'm also missing 2 onions. It was like $1.37 refund. So I ate both of them, and I'm like, oh fuck. I could have just done the meat and kept the onions on and not have to worry about it, but I didn't think about it. But I'm gonna make big ass fucking onions too. I'm gonna take like 3 each, or 1 each rather, because of 3. What I wanted to do was do 1 each. When I had 4. Cut them all up, put them in the pan, and then cook them down, caramelize them, so I can put them on something. Who knows what? Like for the last 2 days, I was watching. I was just basically on loop. I had Alvin Zhu's stuff, just over and over and over and over again. And he only has like 11 videos on his channel. They're all great. And he doesn't have like if you go to playlists or whatever, he doesn't have like the uploaded videos or anything of that nature. So he has so what I did was I just made a private playlist, and I just added all of his videos to it, put it on shuffle and repeat. Just let him play, because each one of them, they're just cinematically great, and then on top of it, it's like he's funny, he's quirky. They're great videos. Um, yeah, and so I got some inspiration from him by watching his videos. That's why I'm gonna make the cream corn in the cast iron, because it's pretty well seasoned now. I also have it's like I made some stock yesterday. It's not as diluted as before, but it doesn't really matter. I also made some rice yesterday, and when I put it all together, I was like, why is it so bland? I got maybe like a third of the way done with it, and I'm like, I forgot to fucking season it. It's like, what the hell's wrong with me? It's like, fuck, man. And then I season it, and I'm like, yeah, of course. Now it tastes so much fucking better. Even though like I had bacon in it, and because I cooked up the rest of my bacon and put that away, and I had a piece of chicken that I cut up into it. My chicken had been seasoned, but I mean, like, even then, it's just like it didn't season it enough, so I had to throw in a little bit. And I've got that. Well, I had that seasoning I got from HelloFresh, the Italian seasoning. So I had that in there for a bit, and then I dumped the rest of it into the remainder of my rice, so I can let that just kind of sit. Build on those flavors and stuff. I got a big old bowl of dough in there too that I made yesterday, so I could have more pizzas and stuff. So like I said before, I feel like it's kind of a smart thing to have, effectively just homemade dough on the ready. It feels like a good idea. And on my next paycheck, okay, so I've been mulling over the whole like mixer and mixing bowl things. I was gonna buy them yesterday, and then the mixing bowl that was available isn't available right now. And I was looking at some of the reviews, and like there's apparently the sticker that's stuck on the bottom, and now some isopropyl alcohol can usually remove stickers no problem, but it's also like apparently really flimsy. Someone even like had a video of it where it was just like it was basically as thin as a soda can, and I'm like, that's really thin for a mixing bowl. And so I was looking around, and I found some Volrath, which is the same company as this. Volrath. I still have to clean this. I only rinsed it and put a little soap in it. I still have to actually wash it, because we were cooking bacon yesterday, because I was in the process of cooking the stock yesterday. So yeah, cooking videos. I mean, it's also just, but I mean, I want to get the mixing bowls, and I want to get the mixer, and I found a mixer that has it's like $30. It's Hamilton Beach. The other one that I was gonna get is Hamilton Beach as well, but it was like $20, but it didn't have like dough hooks on it. And this one has, the one that I'm planning on getting, not only has dough hooks, but it also has like an immersion blender to it. It says milkshake, but it's like, it looks like an immersion blender for the most part, which kind of cool with. I mean, like, let's try that out. And for only $10 more with a couple attachments, it's a pretty good deal. And so I found the Volrath mixing bowls. It was just double for like, it was like 2 for $20. The other one was only like $8, but I mean, it could be just because that's how thin it is, and I don't know. So, but it's like with Adam Savage, and I think I mentioned before in another video, he's like, if you're going to be using a tool, buy something cheap and use the hell out of it first. And then when it comes time to replace it with something, more robust, more expensive, etc. So like, for instance, I should never need to replace this. This can opener is great. It was like 12, maybe maybe 15 bucks. And the reason why it is as expensive as it is as expensive as it is, or was, if you will, because I've already purchased it, is because I have used can openers in the past that are super cheap. I've used the $1 ones you can get at fucking Walmart or whatever. I hate those things so much. So much. They hurt my hand. You put so much fucking effort into cutting those fucking things open, and then they want to shred you. This thing just works. It just fucking works. It feels good in the hand. Yeah, I mean, it's not super balanced or anything, but you don't need it to be. It has a tiny little bottle opener here, and then it has another bottle opener here, so if you need bottle openers, pop, there you go. Everything about it just feels good in the hand. I mean, and it's lightweight plastic, so, you know, as long as I don't lose it or throw it away for any fucking reason, it's solid, you know? And like, this Therm Pro pen, I mean, I fucked it up because it, like, so when you close it, it locks, and it's supposed to be that. It's supposed to do that, right? But this one does that. And that's because I tried pulling it out one day, and it was locked, and so I cracked the case there. It still functions. It's not the best. It takes a moment to read. It's apparently 85 in here right now. It's colder up top. That doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to be hotter up top. Whatever. A good way to test a thermometer is boil some water. Boil some water, stick it in, and then you can see, you know, how accurate it is. But yeah, there's a reason I spent as much money as I did on this. Same thing with the knives and, you know, like the fish spatula and some other shit. But and you know, now I have the Dutch oven, and I've got the pans and some other stuff. But yeah, I started work, lost my keys literally day of, somewhere, probably on a train. I did put in a lost and found request, but I doubt it'll be found. And even if it was, I doubt I'll be able to be, I'll benefit from it. But watching the cooking videos from the last couple of days made me want to cook some stuff. And made me want to cook some different stuff. So I got the onions, I got the potatoes, I got the corn. You know, only adding those three things. It's just gonna see. Bro. Throw this, it's falling on the floor so many damn times. But hopefully things will work out. We'll see. Have fun.